I know you are tired of working your 9 to 5. I know you are tired of asking for permission to go on vacation. I know you are tired of not having the time, freedom, and flexibility that you so desire. And I know you are tired of not making enough money. But I beg of you, please do not quit your 9 to 5 in 2025. If you are new to my channel, my name is Ndidi Amadi, and I talk about all things law, life, and lifestyle. So I wanted to speak about not quitting your 9 to 5 because I've been hearing a lot of rhetoric on social media about how 9 to 5s are no good, quit, you're never going to be able to amass wealth with your 9 to 5, you're never going to be able to have the life of your dreams, you're never going to be able to chase your dreams with a 9 to 5. And I find that language, that rhetoric to be very destructive for several reasons. And it's not to say that you are stuck in a 9 to 5 forever, but I find that type of language destructive because it lacks a wisdom, it lacks a knowledge of what's going on in the economy, and it lacks empathy for what people are able to do in this season. So I want to talk about how to leverage your 9 to 5, how to still chase your dreams, and how to still build wealth, or at least build financial stability. And this conversation is going to be directed towards those living in the US. It could be applicable to those outside of the US. I consider myself to be globally minded. I'm actually a dual citizen of 2 countries. I consider myself someone knowledgeable in learning, at least learning about other countries. But this conversation is going to be tailored to those in the US just because I know a little bit about what's going on in the economy and what's to come. So first, I want to empathize because I understand the reason why people feel like they just need to get rid of their 9 to 5. I'll tell you a little bit about my background. I studied at Howard University. I'm a proud Bison. I was a political science major, theater arts minor. I was always an artist. I've been dancing for such a long time. I still teach dance now. And I'm also from Southern California. So after I graduated from Howard, after I graduated from law school, I actually went back to California and I was doing different things. And one of the things that I was doing was auditioning and booking. I've actually had several television credits and actually film credits, and I danced on ABC Family. I've done all these different things. So I understand when someone wants to do something non-traditional, and I understand when somebody has a creative itch they need to scratch. However, I don't think that in this day and age and in this economy, people should just forego stability for the sake of pursuing their passions, if you will. And I will give an example. Even when I was auditioning and even when I was booking, and to book a gig, any type of gig that's not like background, is actually not that easy. However, those gigs were not, they weren't coming like clockwork. It wasn't something that you can plan your life on. It wasn't something that you can plan your finances on. And I left California in early 2019, and I still know so many creatives, so many artists, so many people who were still like auditioning at that time, and now it's fast forwarded, and I still haven't seen them like book that thing that's going to change their life. And there's talented people in California. Dreamers are drawn to California. And it's not to say that they will never book, but it's to say, can you imagine what would have happened over the past 6-7 years if someone was still pursuing their dreams and still had that type of financial stability, or that type of health stability? Usually when you have financial stability, it would also come with benefits that can help your health. It can help your mental health, because when you don't have money, your mental health is shot. I speak from experience. So all this to say, I know what it feels like to have creative desires. I also have seen the time and effort that people have put into their creative desires, chasing their passions, and years later, they still have not seen what it is that they're looking for. And this is not to say that it won't happen, because I'm a dreamer, but this is to say that time will still move on. Time when we're still supposed to be building and perhaps investing and leveraging what we have. And then another example that I want to give about how unstable it is to kind of just stop like traditionally working was the actors strike. The actor strike that happened in Hollywood is just, I think it was 1 or 2 years ago, and so many artists were not working, and so many artists, they didn't know how to pay their rent or pay their bills. Established artists who were like kid actresses and things of that nature. And I am not knocking the industry. I love entertainment. I studied entertainment. I've been on television. I will continue to be in television. However, yeah, I still hold a 9 to 5 until I am in a position that is safe enough to transition out. And I actually want to share one of my recent successes. In 2022, my sister and I got this amazing multi-book deal. It's a children's book with the #1 publisher in America. And we signed that deal. We signed the contract. And yet we still did not quit our 9 to 5s, because if you know anything about these types of deals, publishing, it takes a long time. So had we quit our jobs in 2022 when we signed the deal, we got, flashing dollar signs in our eyes and all the excitement, and our lives about to change, we're about to be on. Had we quit, we would have been not as financially secure. I would put it that way. I'm still working a 9 to 5. So what I do want to talk about, this message is not, I want to be clear, this message is not to say, forget about your dreams, forget about your desires, because I have my creative pursuits as well. But this is to say, be smart and be wise with your life, especially if you are older, because it's one thing to be chasing a dream in your 20s. It's another thing to be in your 30s and you don't know where your next check is coming from. And I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to social media or the influencers, and a lot of influencers are actually going back to 9 to 5. And I wanted to talk about this video because I feel like a lot of people are being led astray in like, just quit your job, chase your dream. Yes, that's sexy, all of that, but I just don't want people to be in a position where they regret anything or where they are not building when they should be building. So you might be saying, well, you're telling me not to quit my 9 to 5, well, what am I supposed to do? Well, the first thing that you can do is to get a high-paying 9 to 5. That's the first thing to do, because I find that a lot of people want to quit the 9 to 5 because they're not making enough money to sustain them, or they're not making enough money to live the life that they want. And there are people who have 9 to 5s, well, it might be 9 to 7, it might be whatever, but traditional employment, who are making a lot of money. So my first advice would be to find a skill, get a degree that will allow for you to have a high paying job. And I'm Nigerian, so I grew up hearing doctor, lawyer, engineer. And when I was younger, I'd be like, oh man, Nigerians, they're so limited. There's so many careers out there. I could do this, I could do that. But now looking back, in my big age, I'm like, they kind of ate with that, because doctors make money. Lawyers, that's the field I chose, make money. Engineers make money. And this is not to say there's only 3 fields that make money, but if you are perhaps going into college, or you're in college, or you're going for your graduate degree, there are certain fields that will make money if you do the work and do what you need to do. So my first advice would be, if you have to work a 9 to 5, find a high paying 9 to 5, and find a 9 to 5 that you can leverage. When it comes to people not wanting to work a 9 to 5, one of the things is like, they want time freedom. They want to be able to vacation. For me, I have a 9 to 5. I was able to travel internationally several times this year. I was able to travel domestically several times this year. And domestically, I went on 3 trips on the company's dime. So find a company, find a 9 to 5 where you can, leverage your time. Find a 9 to 5 where you have enough paid time off, or you can go on vacation. Find a 9 to 5 where you have health benefits. Find a 9 to 5 where you just have a total compensation package that will at least allow you to have a nice life. It might not be like luxury living, living soft life, luxury life, but it's a nice life. So that would be my first suggestion for those who are like, well, if you're telling me not to quit my 9 to 5, what should I do? Find a high paying 9 to 5, find skills that people will pay you for, find a 9 to 5 where you can leverage. That's what I would say. And I don't want anyone to give up on their dreams. This is not what this message is. This is a message of wisdom, because I kind of just want to counteract what has been going on social media. So many, quit your 9 to 5, don't do this. You're going to be a slave to your boss. You're going to be, 40, having to ask your manager for paid time off. You're going to have to be this and that and that. It's a lot of that is fear-based, but I'm here to provide another voice. And the second thing I would do is still have your dreams, still have your vision, still have your hopes. As I said before, I have this huge deal coming out with my sister, and I still get my creative outlets going. I still teach dance. I still have great dreams and desires. So my advice to you is, people say, after 9 to 5, work 5 to 9, meaning after your job, invest in yourself, invest in your goals, invest in your dreams. I'm here on YouTube now, filming on the weekend, doing something creative that I want to do, but I didn't have to quit my job for it. And I find a lot of times that when people quit their jobs, they put so much pressure on their art or whatever it is they're creating to pay for their bills that their art suffers too. They get burnt out. And 3, you're not even producing your best work because you're putting so much pressure, and the joy and the fun of creating is taken away from it. So you don't have to quit your 9 to 5 just yet. If you want to in the future, or if you're in the position to do it safely, soundly, wisely, yes. But if not, then just live your dreams 5 to 9 or on the weekend, or pursue your creative endeavors after. I feel like we live in one of the greatest times in history. Yes, it's also one of the most tumultuous times in history, but I feel like it's one of the greatest times in history because literally it feels like anything is possible. If you have a phone and Wi-Fi, if you want to be an actor, be an actor. Nobody's stopping you. You don't have to audition for anybody. Create something, put it up on the internet. If you want to be an influencer, you have a phone. Everybody has a phone. Whatever it is you want to be, you can be. And that's why I feel like we're living in one of the greatest generations. So I feel like take advantage of that. You don't have to drive out to an audition to show somebody that you can act. If you can act, then act. Pick up a phone, pick up your camera, write a script, and act. If you want to be a writer, then write. Nobody is stopping you, and you do not have to quit your 9 to 5 to be who you are. And the last thing I want to say about this is to be practical. And I don't want to use the term practical interchangeably with realistic, because I don't even really care for the phrase be realistic, because a lot of things are accomplished outside of being realistic, but I think it's important to be practical. So for someone who just wants to up and quit their 9 to 5 and they don't have any savings, they don't know what they want to do. They're in America right now, and if you're in America, the economy is not as stable as it can be, or you want to be something like an Academy Award winning actress, and not many people are that, and they just it's not practical. So for someone who wants to eventually work for themselves full time and not have to answer to anybody, I would say develop like a long-term vision and a short-term vision. Develop how long realistically do you think it's going to take for you to get there. Develop a plan. How much is this going to take? What exactly can I do? What are the steps that I can do? And I know ChatGPT is like the thing right now. So if you need some help, you can put in ChatGPT. These are my dreams. This is my vision for the future. What are the actionable steps that I can do to get there? So I just wanted to share a different point of view about 9 to 5s, and because I heard so much about quit your 9 to 5 and you don't need a college degree, college can't get you anywhere, but I'm like waving a little flag like, yes it can, yes it can. You can have a 9 to 5, you can still be a creative, you can still make money, you can still travel, you can still do all these things, and you don't have to sacrifice your financial health or perhaps even your physical health or your mental health to do it. So let me know if you feel like using your 9 to 5 is something that you can leverage, or let me know if you feel like it's not what I want to do right now. So in any event, I hope you have a great day. Until next time, ciao.